Being remarkable helps you go from ordinary to extraordinary, and I'll show you the next slide in a second. This was a client of mine in Fort Lauderdale. Diana Clark is her name, and she had 2 little girls, lived in Fort Lauderdale, on the beach a lot, right? You need sunscreen. You need sunscreen all the time, especially on little kids' skin. Her little girls, kicking and screaming, wouldn't let her put that sunscreen on. But she started noticing, so she didn't always put it on, and they would get burned, and she would feel bad, and they would be angry, and it was a big mess. She noticed that when they played dress up, they loved anything having to do with glitter. So she said, strange idea. I wonder if I could put glitter in the sunscreen, which is exactly what she did. She created Sparkle Screen with glitter in it, but it's FDA approved, it is safe, it's all natural, it's pink for the girls. Again, not to be sexist, but it is pink for the girls, and she does have something in green and blue for the boys called Jungle Screen that also has glitter in it. When the glitter stops showing, it's time to reapply it. And the kids want it reapplied. This is genius. I got her press. We were on every national television news program. If you look up Sparkle Screen, you will see her. She has since become a very wealthy woman. It's a cool product, but she took a different approach. She took something that was really boring and made it cool. She made it extraordinary. So when you're writing your press releases and pitch letters, include a customized query to the journalist or whoever you're sending it to. Do not say to whom it may concern. Again, take the few minutes on Google and find out who you're sending something to. Do not say to whom it may concern. Spell their names correctly. Do not, as I call it, spray and pray. Do not just send it out and hope that they're going to cover it. Follow up, but don't get annoying. Do not call the journalist and say, did you get my press release? Maybe, I got 300 press releases this week. They are just going to be irritated, and they will remember you. You don't want to be remembered that way. Proofread and fact check. With the internet, everything we all know lives forever. If you make a mistake and it is printed, that will be the legacy that you leave behind. It will never go away. Fact check and proofread, and do not spell anything incorrectly. The worst PR story of not proofreading came when I was working at the Multiple Sclerosis Society in Los Angeles. This is a long time ago, folks. This is before the internet. Oh my gosh, this was in the early 80s. We were doing an awards ceremony, and we were honoring one of our volunteers because he was really, really great. I had just started working there. I had nothing to do with this program. But the person who wrote the program, she proofread it, but too few people who were too close to the subject proofread it. And they missed something. And what they missed was pretty significant. What they missed was this. He was being honored for his outstanding public service. The program said he was being honored for his outstanding pubic service. Okay? The guy was such a good sport about it. He got up on stage and he said, and it's embarrassing, and it said it in the program, in writing. And he got up on stage, he said, well, my wife tells me I'm good, but I never thought I'd get an award for it. And it was great. Don't make those kinds of mistakes, because that's not a good thing. And you want to include all of the information very, very close to the front. Here are some press release rules for when you're writing a press release. Make your headline irresistible, be upfront with your information, include a great quote from someone in your company, and make the who and what obvious. So this was a very, very famous headline from the New York Post, headless body and topless bar. And the subhead is, gunman forces woman to decapitate tavern owner. This was from the 80s. I'm not telling you to make a headline like this. I'm saying that you have one shot to get it right, make it memorable, and make it irresistible. Be upfront with your info. Don't make journalists who are getting so many different press releases dig and dig and dig to get your most important information. Put it up front. Put it in the headline. Include a great quote from someone from your company. Don't have 12 quotes. One quote is good. Have one quote and then look at your quote. Make sure these statements are true in what you write. If I delete this quote, the reader won't be able to understand the significance or context of the news, meaning keep it in there. And if I delete this quote, I'll have to rewrite other parts of the release to restore lost information and insight. Make sure it's in there. Okay? So if you say yes, and these are both true, your quotes are good. If it's fluff, take them out. Press releases should not be longer than a page, 2 pages max. Remember that brevity is everything, less is more when it comes to this. They just want the information. If they're interested and you've made it interesting for them up front, they'll contact you if they want more. Following up, make sure to send email thank you notes immediately. Mail handwritten notes if you have their addresses, because it breaks through the clutter of emails. You can pay a PR pro like me to holler for you. You can do a lot of it yourself. Don't pay if you don't have the money. But you've got to evaluate your own skill set, where you're good, where you might need some extra help, and then hire others to fill in. Maybe you're not a great writer. I'm a great writer. Sandy, I need you to write a press release. But I have the contacts with all of the different radio stations, TV stations, newspapers, and magazines, so I just want you to write the press release. I'll do the distribution. Great, okay. So I'll do the writing, and by hiring me and paying me $500 to do a press release for you, it's gonna save you 20 hours because you can't write and you don't know how to write for them. And I'm not saying that's the case with all of you. I'm giving you an example. Figure out what you can do, what you can't do, and then pay somebody to do the rest. Because time is money, and it's your time and your money.